Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I just want to do a demonstration of basically a review of the Flywater, the Flywater 12'6, and basically my video slash photography gear, how I set it up and how I go about basically putting this whole thing together and what works for me. I initially had different setups, and I keep evolving because I just keep changing my mind. I think it's a photographer's thing. I think we just love to switch out gear all the time, I think. However, the reason I am changing it up is before I had a gimbal I would set up here with one of my Canon's R7. However, I have at some point or another, sometimes I get splashes that come over the boat, and sometimes it just makes me a little bit nervous. So now I'm gonna basically setting up just DJI action cameras and a pocket camera here. I know that the pocket is a little bit of a delicate camera gimbal, but I found it to be pretty sturdy so far. I'm not super worried. If it gets kind of wet, I think it can dry out. However, if it does get where the conditions are too extreme, I would just basically switch it out and put one of the action cameras on there, and I would be completely fine. I got a couple action cameras, so that's how I'm planning on doing it. And I also have a 360 camera, which I will put on the back, and I'll show you once I finish setting this whole thing up. This is what I made. I basically made here like a little piece of wood that I painted gray, kind of waterproofed it, put some foam underneath, and basically put a little rail. This is like what is this called? It is for when you do wood benches, and it has that little clip so you can clip things in it. I modified it so I can just basically put ball heads attached to here, so I can put 4 ball heads and just attach them to here with a single T-clamp. Something you can find easily anywhere. I wish I know where I bought it, but honestly I think my wife bought this and she wasn't using it, and I grabbed it. Before that, I had a fish bar on here, but the fish bar is just a little bit heavy. So I'm trying to find ways to reduce weight and make this just as simple and lightweight as possible. Everything lightweight, because I do have a bad back and I just don't want to aggravate it as much as I can, try to avoid that. So if this doesn't work, which it has worked already, I've tested it in the past, but if I were to modify this, I would just do more of a 2x4 width out here, just to make it a little bit bigger, more surface area where it lays down so it won't tip over. Sometimes it tends to tip over. So right now, what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna go ahead and secure the motor. I'll bring the cameras closer so you guys can see, but this is a Newport vessel NK180. It is an older version. It's 1.8 horsepower. It's actually really good. I like it. If I wish I can change something about it, I wish I can go a little bit deeper in the water sometimes. I wish I can change the depth of the pole, because sometimes, depending where it is, it feels like it's trying to, it's not deep enough in the water. And sometimes it's too deep and it catches seaweeds, or any weeds anyways. So that's the only thing I would change on this motor if I could do something about it. I wish I can go deeper where I could control the depth. However, other than that, it's not that big of a deal. It's something that sometimes, like I said, if the boat tips a little bit forward, the propeller will stick out a little bit and you can hear it trying to catch water. I don't know why it does that. Sometimes it's deep enough. Sometimes it depends how the water is moving. I think it has to do with maybe where I am positioned on the boat. If I'm too further back, maybe it sits where it's supposed to be. But if I shift forward to grab my camera gear, sometimes it might stick out. However, other than that, it's pretty good. I wish I could. Well, eventually in the future, I'll probably get a bigger motor that goes a little bit deeper. And I would like to get like something with a lighter battery, because right now I have a really heavy battery. It is a, let me show you what type of battery is it. This is a, let me grab the camera here so you guys can see it. So it is a Newport 25 volt battery, and it is designed for this motor. But this bad boy is heavy. I would say probably 25 pounds, I think. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but it feels like a 25-pound battery. So if I could change something in the future, it would be to get like a Bixby style battery, which is like an enclosed battery. I think Newport has one now as well. And the battery itself is probably just waterproof, more lower profile, and it's actually lighter. It's designed for to put on kayaks, so it would reduce the profile and the weight. Again, for me, it's all about weight and streamlining this bad boy as much as I can. So, and by the way, sorry about it. It's a little bit dirty, but I will clean it up before I put it in the car and get ready to start launching this bad boy. For me, now we are in Florida autumn weather. Now it's nice and cool. Now it's when people are not in the lakes so much. So this is when I want to do photography out here in the lakes and rivers of Florida. So just getting ready to clean it up and get ready to launch it. So, but I figured I'd do a quick review so you guys can see what I'm doing. So, all right, let me go ahead and set up the motor over here. All right, so let me set up this motor. Basically, the IO Flywater has this bracket that you put on, and the bracket is fitted with exactly the holes that you need for to put the bracket for the NK180. So it's pretty convenient. Sometimes it is tricky to get it exactly where it needs to be, but once you get past that point, it's not too bad. There you go. So that's fitted completely, all the way seated on the bottom, and then you just screw it on righty-tighty. Basically do that, and that's like a pressure thingy. So yeah, so that's how that goes. I keep the wires and the pulleys all back together so they don't get tangled. It's very painful once they get tangled. So all right, let me switch out the cameras here so you guys can see me put the chair. I modified it. This chair actually comes from Sea Eagle, and basically all I do is I need to clean this bad boy a little bit. I like to sit it on top of the boat because I sit in a higher position. So I really like that I sit higher here instead of being like very low, like level, and I can actually put things underneath it. So that's why I like it. It also helps my back. I don't feel so much pressure on my back. So that's all it is, just some NRS pull ties. The fantastic thing about the IO is it has plenty of loops, so you can put straps wherever you want, you know. So, and that's pretty solid. It's not going anywhere. Just want to make sure it's central. So then my battery basically goes right here. And I have a ball head that I screwed on here, so that way I can put a pole here and put my 360 camera. or an action camera. I've used action camera before. I did not have a 360 in the past. I have one now, so that's what I'll be putting up here. So, and I'll show you the whole setup once I put it on. So obviously I have a paddle that I would just put together, and it has little loops here. Here, I'll do it real quick. So it's a little difficult actually, but this is why I like to test everything before I launch. Make sure everything's in working order. Sometimes I forget what my setup is like, and then I get to a spot, you know, I'm in a hurry to launch and I forget something. So I like to do these little dry runs basically to make sure everything is good to go. This is my steering pole. It is a Bixby steering pole. Same with this little device over here that attaches to it. It is Bixby. So that's from my previous setup. What do you call this? The motor. I guess this is the motor. This controls the speed of the engine, reverse, forward. Tells you the how much life is on the battery. But anyways, I have positioned it on the back. Like before, I had it in the front over here, but every time I had to paddle, I would hit something. I would hit this thing because it was here in the middle. And it would sometimes it'll turn it on, turn it off. I kicked off the key sometimes, which is dangerous because I could lose it. I have since learned to tie it to myself, but you know, which is how it's supposed to be used. But I'm comfortable putting it behind me and me just turn a little bit and just turn it on, and it's out of my way. So that's the best way it works for me. So let me turn it on real quick. All right, let's hook this thing up so you guys can kind of see. So as you can see, I store a few safety things around in here in the battery just to take up some of the space, because well, if I have this big toolbox for it, I might as well just store stuff in it. So I have a little rope. I have some patches for the kayak, and some secure like zip tie, some of these NRS ties, pull ties, so just in case I need some. So basically this just hooks up here. This ties in here. It only fits one way, so. And I created a little opening here where it has like little foam, so it's like a soft push on the cords. And usually, right now I'm a little bit sloppy, but usually I actually make it as tidy as possible, but sometimes I don't. So I have a key on my life vest. That's where I keep this. This I strap to my leg or my arm. Usually it's my leg. I don't want it dangling. And I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it's blinking. That's what happens when it's on there. All right, and now you guys can see, now that I put the key in, everything is lit up. If I take the key, it just says like there's power, but there's no, it is not engaged. Put the key in and it lights up. Usually I have to do mode, which is lithium on. So it's on neutral here. I don't like turning it on when it's out of water. It's actually not good for the engine, but I'm gonna there it goes. You can see it there. I'm gonna turn it off because it's actually not, it's recommended not to be used outside of water. So yeah, so that's how that goes, that is set up. Then I have two ties, one that goes so I can pull the motor forward, and then the other one's so I can one so I can basically pull the propeller out of the water, and the other one is just to hold on reverse. So I'm not gonna set up that entire, it's just a basic boat function with this engine. We're more interested here on the photography part and how I use this boat for photography on the water. So let's finish setting that up so you can see what I'm referring to. So I'm setting up the Osmo Pocket now on here. I need to tighten this, it's been a while. Yep, it's tight there. These are some old ball heads. They're very good. They're really right stuff ball head, but they were heavy and something I don't want to carry anymore, so I've just used them here, and I keep them on the kayak because I don't use them for my everyday photography. So basically this is what I do for the Osmo Pocket here. That faces forward. So yes, this is how I set up the Osmo Pocket. I basically put it in the center. It faces forward, and you'll see here on the, you can actually see just the front of the boat, which is how I like to position this. And then I can flip it, 1, 2, 3, and it'll point at me on the boat. I probably should not be getting on the boat with boots. But basically, right there, I could probably raise it, or I can point up a little bit. That's too much. Takes a little bit finagling, but basically right there it has me in frame, centered, and yeah, it just really just works. So yeah, I position it there centrally in the center of the boat, and when I want it to look at me, I want to say something, I just hit the button 3 times, it turns towards me. If not forward, I hit the button 3 times and it faces forward. So yeah, it really just works. And now I just feel better now, because now I have action cameras. I don't feel so, I wouldn't say guilty. Guilty is the wrong word. I would say I feel better if something happens. I would feel terrible if my regular cameras get wet and it ruins something. We're talking about the lenses, the camera. It's just a lot of money. Whereas these action cameras, they're actually made for this, and the quality has gotten so much better in the last couple years, really, that it's actually hard to tell, and hard to tell the difference between an action camera and a regular camera. So that's why I'm shifting to this and showing you my setup, and also how much more lightweight it is now. So you know, so it's just easier. So all right, let's continue. So now the latest setup I got is this Osmo 360. So now I can put a 360 camera here. A little bit shaky, but not terrible. Maybe lower it a little bit. Not that it really matters, but so I can record there in 360, and it'll give me another perspective. So, and you know, with the 360 camera, you have that. It's not only 360, but 360 camera is actually waterproof. So I can take it, grab it. There's a manatee, put it in the water. I can take my action camera, put it on the water. For example, I'll have one of these action cameras. Let's see, right? and I can point it towards myself as well, which I tend not to do. I point it towards myself, right? Or I can use the 360 camera and point it towards myself, and I can stick it underwater, right? I also have that other ball head there. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but remember that other ball head here? Remember this other ball head there? I can put a foot plate on here and put the other the action camera on there, and I have 2 points of view. I've also angled it before, but it is a little bit dicey. It does put a lot of pressure on there, so I don't do that very often. But I can definitely do it. Let me see. I have a. Do I have one? Let me see. Yeah, let's try it. Let me show you real quick what I mean. Oh, you know what? I can do it with this 360 here. The only reason I can't do it right now with the other poles because they're set up for land, I guess. Would that be the word? They are set up for when I do stuff around here, not necessarily when I'm on the kayak. So when I'm on the kayak, I'll put basically take the tripods off, the tripod legs, and put plates on these because I won't have any use for them with tripod legs. But right now, this one, well, none of them have tripod legs right now, but I don't have the foot plate. Is what it is. That's what I'm trying to say. The foot plate. This one has a foot plate. So let's see. So I'm gonna put this one here. So yeah, let me show you this setup real quick here. Got a lot of cameras going on at the same time. So this is another example, right? So I can put my action camera right there. There's Mila, because, you know. So I got the 360 there. I got the pocket there. I can put an action camera back here or the pocket. And if I feel so inclined, I can put another one over there or another ball head on that side. I won't because sometimes the more I have, the less I use. So right now I can just move that ball head over there and then put this one in the center if I want to, depending on where I'm at on the lake or the river. So yeah. Okay, so the last part to this, and I know it's a little bit sloppy right now because I have a lot of things going on at the same time, but basically it's my camera backpack. And as far as a tripod, I bring a tripod sometimes. I don't always bring a tripod because sometimes I just don't need it. If I'm going to a lake where I'm not gonna get on land, I don't bring a tripod. But I do park it over there in the front. I put it basically, let me show you here. But basically I just put the tripod here, secure it, and that's it. And then my backpack, I just put it right here by my feet. Right there. So if I need to set up a tripod, I basically just set it up right here in front of me between my legs, like so. I'll show you. But usually I just hand hold the camera. So it's just the easiest way. It's faster. I'm moving around. Yeah. Let me show you what the camera kind of looks like. I do have a waterproof bag that I can put on the camera. So there's that. So this is it. This is the setup. I basically just pull it out. I'm controlling my engine, steering. I stay still. I shoot really fast with the camera. If I have to raise my ISO, I raise my ISO. I'm not scared about not raising my ISO. I know a lot of people are like, don't raise your ISO, but like, whatever, man. You want to take the picture or no? So anyways, this is pretty much a setup. I'll put the tripod so you can look at it real quick, but that's pretty much it. This allows me to turn around like so. Sometimes I can turn around all the way to the back. My legs are in a comfortable position. I'm not completely low to the ground, and I have enough space here that if I want to kind of kneel, if I want to stand, I can stand on here. I never do because it frightens me. I'm in Florida, so I'm in a lot of lakes that have gators and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna take that risk if I don't have to. Anyways, let me put the tripod here so you guys can see. I'm standing and moving out of the kayak so I can hurry up, but obviously I would be doing this while I'm in the kayak, which is doable. It just takes a little bit longer. So I would just stand it like so. And yes, no, this is not like forever. You don't keep it like, obviously if you're rocking around, you're not gonna, you're gonna secure the legs, put them wider. In the past, I've even put one of those ties around the tripod with one of those on the loops, but I never really do any of that because like I said, I hand hold everything, and I have practiced to hand hold my images and they turn out perfectly fine. It allows me a much better freedom doing that than just trying to put it on a tripod and do a long exposure or anything like that. That's not what I'm doing on the kayak. So that's pretty much my setup. If I ever decide to do like longer exposure landscape style photography, and I would have to find a tripod that, like a 10-12 foot tripod that reaches the ground here, because that's the only way to do it. Some of these bald cypress trees, which is, I'll probably be going soon to one of those lakes to photograph the fall colors. Those bald cypress trees are in lakes that are 12-14 foot to the ground, and people do drop a tripod, let it settle, and then they put the camera on there. And I'm not opposed to that, but I don't have that kind of tripod right now, and I'm not doing enough of that photography to purchase that type of tripod, which is probably not even something they sell, but something that you kind of make up, kind of rig up together yourself. So right now it's not in my range. I'm not aiming for that right now. Eventually, maybe. However, right now that's I don't think I need that right now. Like I said, I like the way I'm shooting, and it's working. So, but anyways, let me take this out of the way so it's not in your face. So yeah, that's pretty much my setup. I'll do another walk around here so you guys can take a quick look. And if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. I'll answer what I can, give you my experiences. Of course, everyone has their own experience, and everybody tries something different, and it's just, if you want the pictures from the water, you're gonna have to take a little bit of risk, but this to me is the less risky way to do it. Get a bunch of action cameras, put them on D-Log-M or log settings so you can really process your footage so it doesn't look like a freaking cell phone footage. And yeah, to me it's the best way and the safest way, and the batteries last long enough, and it just works. So yeah, like I said, feel free to ask me any questions. I'll answer everything I can, and yeah, we'll go from there, and I'll see you guys next time on the water. Thank you guys for watching, and till next video, thank you.